And hello everybody, welcome to another short album review. My name's John and I'm a radio DJ, got a couple of radio shows, BCFM Sunday Rock Show 93.2 FM and there's the that's on BCFM radio in Bristol, syndicated worldwide on Rock Radio, and there's also the Rock Druid Show on Rock Radio UK. Links to both of which are going to be in the description should you want to check them out. Now, this is just me on a Saturday afternoon, killing 5 minutes or so, talking about something I've been grooving to this week and sharing it with you. And today I'm going to talk about a fairly well-known band, but one of their lesser-known albums. It's this. This is Dog of Two Head by Status Quo from 1971. Yeah, early Quo. Their fourth studio album, if you didn't know. Anyway, there's the front. There's the back. Originally came out on Pi Records, but as I'll show you in a second, this isn't a Pi original. This is a PRT record reissue. There's the back, should you want to check the track listing and lyrics. You can pause it, you know. And then open it up. Just some pictures of very young looking members of the original Quo lineup sitting around in the studio. And then a bit of a kind of blurry live shot, very atmospheric in sepia there. And if I pull this out, no inserts or anything, as I said. This is a late 1970s reissue on PRT Records, which label that when Pi Records went under brought the rights to their back catalogue. So there we go. Now, just in case you don't know, Status Quo started out as sort of like Flower Carnaby Street kind of psych pop in the late 1960s. Had a massive hit with in the UK with Pictures of Matchstick Men, and then kind of disappeared for a while, and then reinvented themselves around about 1972, 1973 as a hard rock and roll band, and laid down kind of 12-bar boogie for the rest of their lives. That's still going on, although only Francis Ross is the only original member left. Everyone else having either died or departed. But in between their kind of psychedelic period and their comeback in the 1972, they did have a couple of minor hit singles, but the band were reinventing themselves. On the album before this, Mark Eddy's Greasy Spoon, they started introducing the boogie. And then this album came out, and it's a bit of an outlier compared with what Status Quo became or were, but yet at the same time shows hints of what was to come. This, to me, is one of Quo's best albums. Absolute stormer. There's only one track on here that's got that kind of classic fast rock and roll boogie, which was Mean Girl, which was a minor hit single, although about a year or two after this came out. Everything else kind of, yes, it's got the boogie blues shuffle in it, but there's a big, almost prog rock element flowing through this album. Tracks like Someone's Learning, one of my all-time favourite Quo songs, that kind of got time changes and rhythm changes and key changes all over the place. Something's going on in my head, which is still, although it's boogies, it's very psychedelic and quite trippy. Omni Iton, which is kind of again, a strange number. And there's also Railroad, which is a bit of a kind of multi-part blues epic. Chuck in a, Garundula, which is almost like a folk rock number, and a little kind of strange sort of like piece that winds out both sides called Na-Na, which is a little bit of a kind of lighter waving drunken sing-along song. And you've got something that Quo's never really done before or since. There are hints of what was done on this album that show up on some of their later tracks. Especially on albums like Quo in 1984 and Blue for You in 1986. But this album remains unique. Little known outside the Status Quo circles, but a bit of a classic. And, and for those of you that have always dismissed Quo as kind of being mindish for bar boogie merchants, I do recommend that you give this one a listen. You'll have your mind open and your ears expanded. And I don't care if you don't like anything else they've done, you might like this. So yeah, a bit of an obscure gem from the Quo, Dog of Two Heads, 1971. Belter.